Hello, welcome back to Joe Ruggiero Inspired. No, I'm not Joe. This is Benjamin Gottlieb, Joe's producer here today at the fantastic Calabasas Country Club. And my goodness, what an incredible start to 2025. So much tragedy, so many things happening in the city of Los Angeles. And you haven't heard from Joe yet. Joe is here today. He's given me the distinct honor of interviewing him for this special episode of Joe Ruggiero Inspired. And Joe, I've been looking forward to this, and I can't wait to talk to you, man.
Well, it couldn't happen to a better guy because not only are you a professor teaching this, but also you have a knack for bringing out the best of me. So, and I appreciate that. I can remember your grandfather, who is one of my best friends, always saying to me, "What can I do to help you?" And it came up that you were an expert in podcasting. Well, you know, I hate to embarrass you, but it's true. And he said, well, maybe my grandson can help you. And we met at a wedding, and which you officiated at.
At this very country club.
That's right. Yep. And this country club has a lot of history. And I don't want to take your thunder away, but go ahead. Ask me anything.
No, can't take my thunder away. And Joe, I'm so honored to have been working with you on this project. It has been incredible. And I think for the audience, for folks who are listening right now, they would agree. It's been so insightful, so moving, and so entertaining to hear from you every couple weeks on the podcast. But let's start here. 2025, brand new year. What has been top of mind for you, and what's just been happening in the life of Joe?
Well, we made a big decision. As you know, we don't have any children living nearby. We have a daughter who's moved to France with her husband and two daughters. We have a granddaughter who's in college in Florence, Italy, and she's doing what she loves to do, and that's fashion marketing, and has been doing very well, incidentally. Just came back from Milan Fashion Week, and she had some great exposure there. And then we have a daughter, single mom, living in Minnesota, and we have my son's widow and two sons living in Hawaii. So, you know, they're all over the place, and we decided that it was time that we take a shot at independent living. And we are ecstatic. It's just what we need. We have people around us that care, wonderful group of friends that we've made since we've moved there. And as one person said to us, it's not important that he calls us the inmates that exchange rooms, but that the whole place is our home. And they take very good care of us, and we've made the right move. We have made the right decision.
Well, this has been now, you've been there for less than a month, it
That's
seems.
Right.
And I would imagine while it sounds like you're very confident in the decision that you and your wife have made, it must have been a difficult decision to make nonetheless.
Well, it was. We have a great landlord that was very accommodating. And with the phenomenon that LA is taking right now, for a freak, winds of time or share of nature, no one understands how to deal, and I don't even think our politicians do. But I think that when you think about the freakiness of it all, whether people lost everything, whether people saved their houses by some freak.
Well, and again, just before you continue, you're referring to the devastating loss of life and property from the Los Angeles fires and the Eden fire and also the Palisades fire.
That's right. And who would have thought? I mean, it's really weird because people are on blocks that were saved, and below them and next to them went up in flames. No one can explain it. It's never happened before. So I wish them well, and we're getting to meet a lot of them in our new facility. And to hear them talk about moving on, moving in a direction of a long overhaul to replace what they've lost. and the humanitarians that have come to their rescue. It's amazing.
It's an interesting intersection. So, I mean, again, here we have this rather large change in your life and also this unprecedented destruction in a city that you love so much. And you're sitting there, it sounds like, in this new location and meeting people who have gone through this.
That's right.
They're going through two changes, right? The change of moving into maybe independent or assisted living and of losing their homes, their memories, their neighborhoods, their communities. I'd love to, if you can, tell us about what some of those conversations have been like.
Well, there are people. The thing that's very nice about this facility is you don't have to put your life savings down. That we basically rent, and we have to sign papers that will release information 30 days notice, and that's great. And yet, at the same time, it was something that was needed. We're not getting any younger, and I recommend it for people who are trying to decide whether they should or not, and I would say should. And it's all been very positive. Now, my wife's two sisters and brother-in-laws have done it, and they've done it for a couple of years now, and they love
this is across the country, East Coast.
That's right. And I used to have to come up with the meals for my wife, and she was a difficult client. But now she can. We get 3 squares a day, and they're very good. As a matter of fact, we met with the chef this morning, and he takes meetings once a month. Was this okay? Was that a good idea? Et cetera, et cetera. And we feel well cared for.
Joe, another entity that you care for deeply is Los Angeles. And while we talk on this program, and I've sat here listening to you interview some incredible guests, and we'll have some more this year as well, you have your 5 pillars, but you also have, I think, what connects all of them together, which is this deep love of Los Angeles.
That's right.
A very deep love of Los Angeles. And so have you given yourself time to mourn what has happened to LA? I mean, what has it been like for you to process this really horrific damage, loss of life from the fires to a place you care about so much?
Well, we've been here 37 years, and it seems like yesterday. And it was an upheaval for my wife because she was a Connecticut Yankee. And she took care of my parents, her parents. She was also very good in terms of her aunts and uncles. Both of her grandparents, of her grandfathers, were doctors. And one uncle was the chief surgeon of New York Cornell. And she has in her DNA caring for people. And it's a wonderful thing. I don't know if I could do what she did or continues to do, but she's a very caring, loving person. I hope you're listening, honey.
He wasn't paid to say that.
Right, exactly. But now, what's it like for you to work from this country club that has such history?
Well, outside of my love for golf, which I have a deep affection for.
Because your dad was a semi-pro, right?
He still is a great golfer, and we still play today. I definitely love golfing. Growing up in Los Angeles, too, being able to golf year-round, being able to be outside year-round because of the weather, I'm sure that's something that you had to get accustomed to moving from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's so lovely. I mean, you can play golf. Right now, it's March. Many parts of the country, they've just gotten out of a deep freeze.
That's right.
Or it's been raining heavily, and it's difficult to get out there, or there's snow on the ground. Here in Los Angeles, it's sunny. It's a bit chilly. You're wearing a vest today, a Patagonia vest, but I'm in short sleeves, and I'm looking at the beautiful vista at Calabasas Country Club, and it's absolutely outstanding. It's a gorgeous golf course. And again, back to what I was talking about when it comes to just your love and affection for Los Angeles, and maybe we'll revisit the fires a little bit later, but you have a deep love and affection for this place in particular, too, because of its history as well.
That's right. And when you consider High Noon, Calamity Jane, I mean, there's some really doozies that have been filmed here, even parts of Giant. So it feels good to be here and to learn more about the history of it. And I'd never realized what history it is. This was the old Harry Warner country cottage. And he and his wife liked to ride horses. And they built the barns to house their horses. Someone made the suggestion, why don't you turn it into a production facility? And what was it, Black Velvet, that Elizabeth Taylor did here? And the barns still exist. So it's being on hallowed land, having guests that can talk about the history of Hollywood have been personally exciting to me and to my listeners as well. And you came up with a very interesting statistic, and maybe we should share that with our audience.
Sure. Which one was that? You have to
The
remind me.
listening of the podcast.
Oh, about where people were listening from?
Right.
Oh, yeah. People listen to this program from all over the world.
And they stay with it.
And they stay with it. Once they tune in, they're staying with us for a long amount of time, which is fantastic. Hopefully, because it's with me leading some of the hosting today, you'll still stick around. It's not just Joe handling business today. You know, it is interesting. I love, because you mentioned my grandfather, Gene, and I know that he likes to listen to this program too, and hopefully he listens to this one. I love hearing his stories of old Los Angeles because, you know, he grew up here.
Right.
And he is, in my mind, represents kind of this almost romanticized version of LA, how LA used to be. And when I hear you and sitting with your guests talking about how this particular piece of land used to look, what it used to be used for. Right now I'm watching people make putts on the putting green, but to see them filming movies, riding
bringing
horses.
whole towns in.
Exactly. And, you know, I love this story that my grandfather likes to tell when he and his family moved out to Brentwood, and his father had purchased near where they live now in Brentwood, and there was nothing there.
Right.
Nothing in Brentwood.
Well, his dad was an architect, wasn't he?
His dad worked in the airplane parts business.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Although my grandfather was interested in architecture. But again, just back to the point of LA continues and always changes. It's a constantly changing place.
And will undergo a big change.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? We were talking about that a little bit before.
Well, we have a guest that's going to speak a little more to it, but basically, people lost their entire memories up in flames. And the people who are coming to their rescue, the neighbors helping the neighbors, it's wonderful. And yet, we cram too many facilities into this small piece of property and outstanding prices. And I think there's going to be a lot to learn, and we don't even know what we're going to learn from these fires.
It's true. And I think what you're speaking to, it's called a few different things, but this urban-rural interface where we build homes, beautiful homes, buildings, office buildings, right up into nature in Los Angeles. And what we're struggling with, which is undisputable fact, is that we are seeing a changing climate. Climate is changing, and we're seeing more destructive wildfires every year. Now, there's debate about what to do about that.
Right.
There's debate about what to do about that. There's many folks who will say we need more aggressive cleaning of our rural areas, more aggressive trimming of trees. And I think there's plenty of merit to that argument as well. There's plenty of other discussion about who is to blame for what has happened.
That's when politics gets into it.
And that's when politics get in. But at the end of the day, something has to be done.
Well, you brought up a point which I think is to your advantage as a professor. And what are the students thinking? I'm sure they're
goodness.
very vocal about it. And
How much time do you have?
right, forever, to be continued. But that must be, for a teacher, so rewarding to hear them offer suggestions.
I'm so constantly inspired by my students. They give me such energy. I've been teaching now for 6 years at Loyola Marymount as an adjunct professor, now a senior lecturer, and I just love it so much. And even when I left the public radio station KCRW and I moved into marketing recently, I kept that, teaching journalism, radio, podcasting, because of the energy and the inspiration that I get from the young students. I will say this, and I don't say this lightly. I do see many young people that I spend time with. And these, at Loyola, the classes are small. These are not UCLA-sized classes where you've got 100, 200 students. I usually have 20 students max. Yeah. So I get to know them well. And, on our table right now, what we're talking is your cell phone. And these students are so plugged in to everything that is happening at all time. And I see that weigh on them. It's an extra weight. I'm not saying this to be trite or cliche, but the entire world's suffering, all of history and all of today's suffering lives on that device at your disposal to look up. Maybe it alerts you and lets you know. And I see it weighing on the students. And what ends up happening to some of them, luckily I have journalism students, so they are inspired, but it becomes numbing. Mm-hmm. What can you do about it? I don't know, as humans, we haven't changed so much really physiologically in thousands of years, but our technology has in the last 200 years.
That's right. And
so it's interesting to see. What to do about it is beyond my expertise, but I do see that from the students that it's heavy. I mean, they see all these horrible things and lovely things too, that the internet and, again, we're broadcasting a radio show that we couldn't do 50 years ago online because of technology. I don't mean to ramble, but to your question about the students, I'm inspired by them, but I also am concerned for them.
Well, I think it's a challenge looking ahead, but I do believe, why am I doing these podcasts? And it's really because I'm genuinely interested in what these experts have to reveal. And it's a mixed bag of pillars, as we said, but they're pillars that I am interested in, that my following, I think, are interested in, and that is food, interior design, or design, period, old Hollywood history, and we've had some real good experts.
Some of those have been really great, yeah.
Really good. And did I cover it all?
Gardening?
Oh, gardening, yeah, of course. Landscape ideas, and, I'm a big fan of putting something in the ground and watching it grow. And there's no place like California to witness that. And I think of myself as a student, actually learning from the experts that we've been lucky enough to have on. And you produce well.
Well, you're so kind. You're easy to work with. I'd love to, because I don't get an opportunity to ask you these questions, and I wonder if... Hi, we got some help from the staff here. Hey, we're live on the podcast. What's going on? Good to see you. We always get cappuccinos.
Right, exactly. Please.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thanks, Martha.
I love it. I'm sure there are times, what's so great about being a producer is that when I listen to your interviews, I also get filled with so many questions. And the question I have for you is, you're right. I sit here and I listen to you, and you are genuinely, constantly curious.
I am.
But my question to you is, maybe in an advisory role or giving advice to people who are listening, your audience, your fans, what advice would you give to somebody to maintain curiosity throughout life as you go through what can sometimes be a difficult existence?
Well, it's very helpful if you have a spouse who's not only your best friend, but supports every move you make. And there have been some tough times for us, not knowing where our next buck is going to come from, which I think most people do in this day and age. But to learn, and I can remember Sister Parrish, very famous interior design figure, helped with the White House during the Kennedy years, and very talented. And I asked her advice, because I was thinking about going into what my father said don't ever go into, and that's design. And I really didn't do that until late in life. In my 60s, I started to get my stride. And she said, travel. Learn as much as you can in traveling, because that's the best education, whether it be architecture or meeting famous architects. And I followed her advice, and I think it was well put. As many people as you can meet, be interested in what took them to this place. And we've teased about this many times, and we've said maybe we should call the show The Journey. And, because people are very interested. How did you get from there to here, And it's success is a journey, not a destination. And that rings true in my brain. And would my father be interested about what the course I've taken? I think so. Even though he told me not to pursue Broadway and not pursue talent that you have. And it's so much a part of him, because he was the power of positive thinking.
Your father?
He was the most optimistic person. I learned well. And he would make a plan and then carry that plan out. And that's what I think I've done.
You speak about him often, not necessarily always in detail, but he comes up throughout your interviews with your guests. What role do you think he's played in, as you said, your success where you are today?
Well, he was very proud of my educational pursuits. I received honors for both graduate school and college. He insisted on paying for all our education, and I'm the youngest of 5.
He paid for all of it?
I paid for all of it.
Wow.
And my brother was a magistrate and did go into business in an advisory capacity with my dad. But we're talking about a lot of graduate school with my 3 sisters and college. And my oldest sister, who's in her late 90s, amazing woman, all facilities, lives alone, but she worked for my dad.
What did your father do?
He had an agency in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut for selling Hobart food equipment. So slicers, mixers, even for households, KitchenAid, and did extremely well because he was the consummate salesman. He could sell that shirt that you're wearing onto you. And that followed suit. So he saw what I did educational. He did not see my TV experience, which I'm lucky to say launched HGTV. It was a different world then. We go along with the resources that we have, whether it be TV or podcasts, but I want to help people live in a better way. It's as simple as that. My daughter's coming out with a book, cookbook, anything that we can do to help and pass it on. And I feel compelled to pass that on to my children. And my son, who we lost, was very inspirational in terms of helping people with their addiction. And very proud of him. We lost him too soon, but his wife is carrying on his dream. And this will be the first year that we don't have the tournament, but she felt that it was important that we leave it be for a year and then she'll get back into it, because she has found a job that is part of conducting tournaments, golf tournaments.
Really? Wow.
Which she feels is almost a way of my son saying, you're doing the right thing.
And he loved golf. You're wearing a hat with his silhouette right now of your son. And the golf tournament has been such a success here at Calabasas Country Club in the past, right?
That's right. And the other day, I had, it's even giving me shivers right now, in this new facility we are, this woman introduced herself as Angel. And she said, I come from an Italian family, and my name is really Angelina, but I've changed it to Angel. Turns out her son knew my son.
Come on.
And my son was 2 years older than Chris, her son. And he said, you won't believe this, but your son coached me in football. And even though he was 2 years older than I was, I just could not believe it. I said, Angel, your name, first of all, and then second of all, that your son knew my son, was a phenomenon.
My God, I'm in shock with that.
I know.
I mean,
and so much of that happens, even for the guy that I had as an interview that was recommended by someone. He was very, very eloquent. At the end of the interview, he turned to me and he said, you're not Joey's son. I said, yes. He said, well, you were very good parents. He was an outstanding individual. I couldn't believe that. These things pop in, and I do believe in signs. There's a book called Signs, and I do believe that my son communicates with us. And I was not a numerologist, but I do know that the angel number 1 is 1. And 3 ones, 1 1, pop up all the time. Whether it wakes me up in the morning with a 222 or a 444, I believe it's his way of, I'm okay, I'm all right. And I'm a lucky father.
It's amazing that you have embodied what sounds like your father was preaching, which is this optimism about life, constant curiosity, in the face of both tragedy to the city that you love and personal tragedy to yourself.
Right.
Joe, when you're looking forward then to 2025, for folks who are listening who maybe are not looking forward to this year, the year in Los Angeles started so difficultly, maybe there's added anxiety about politics or just uncertainty about what might happen. It seems as though things are on a knife's edge and could change at any moment in this climate we live in. Any words of wisdom or advice you might have for your listeners who are looking at 2025, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I think paying forward, helping people make their own decisions. And I stress help, because I'm not one to lecture. I'm one to advice that I've been given because of my experiences. I've also felt that being present, no matter what, whether it be television, whether it be podcasts, but I also try to communicate, even though it's very rough and ready, but I'll just go outside and offer something about the day and what we're up to, what we're doing, and I give a lot of credit to my spouse because she's there to support me. I'm there to support her. And I think that that's good advice for married or divorced couples. As a matter of fact, we've got a guy coming up who's the #1 divorce lawyer in the country.
Wow.
And he handles big settlements, big time. And I love that. I mean, he's a great guy. So, I mean, I thank you so much, too, for making this happen.
Oh, Joe, it's my pleasure. And it's been so great to sit with you. Oh, and as the coffees are coming, it's so great to sit with you and listen to these interviews over the past, it's been about a year that we've been doing this. Yeah. There's an incredible catalog of episodes. If this is the first time that you're listening to this show, you're more than welcome to hop into the catalog, check out all of Joe's incredible conversations that he's had in 2024. And let's not forget, we have a whole slate of episodes coming up this year. And also, we're looking for folks who might be interested in sponsoring the program.
Right.
This is a show that is made possible because of Joe's love and curiosity and his network of friends and interested people who want to sit down and chat with him. Thank you so much. But it's not possible without you all listening. So keep listening, and if you don't mind, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the program. Let us know who you'd like to hear. Who do you want to hear Joe talk to? There's this program, as Joe mentioned, is for you all who are listening.
That's right.
Wouldn't you agree, Joe?
Thank you. Thank you for making it happen. To be continued.
We'll catch you next time.